Hello, my name is Maya Fleischman. I'm a freelance writer who was born and raised in Hong Kong and currently resides in Florida. My play is Baby Bird Flies. It's set in modern-day Hong Kong, and it's about a woman from China who is sharing her wisdom and life lessons, as well as her Qigong practice, with a college-aged grandson. It was inspired by several things: the numerous, ever-increasing conversations about identity and what that is, my conviction that focusing on our commonalities will help repair an increasingly polarized society, and my personal Qigong practice. I felt this play would be an excellent format for this piece because it showcases the emotional tension in the dialogue as well as in the physical movement, and how the shared Qigong practice helps bring the differing opinions to some sort of common experience. I hope that you will enjoy Baby Bird Flies and the other wonderful, thought-provoking pieces in Yun Theatre's production of In Between. Thank you for checking in. Goodbye.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Catalina Florina Florescu. I'm currently in Romania. I have spent the last 25 years in the United States. I teach to undergraduate students at Pace University in New York and to international graduate students at Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, New Jersey. Latiza Chalk is inspired by many interviews that I had with DACA students, and also by my probably forever interest in immigration, border control, and any laws that affect the status quo of humans. More specifically, in this play, you're going to meet someone who is now a college history professor who talks about his story and who brings to our attention two major motifs, if you want. The small tool that we use to write on board, chalk, used to write, to draw, and the ephemeral quality of the chalk, because we can erase it easily. But what we write on the board could stay with us. On the other hand, the protagonist has a nickname, and that nickname is also associated with a dish. I've always been fascinated by language, how we share our stories in our native languages, as well as with dishes, what we bring inside of our body, and how much comfort both of these can give to us. I want to thank the theater that has selected my play, and I wish you all a lovely experience. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Harvey Yang. I'm the playwright of Each Yang. I'm in Seattle right now, and I'm originally from China. I'm a part-time software engineer and a full-time theater fan. The reason I'd like to write this story is I feel like I'm always in between. As big as the country, as small as the little things in life, I'm always in between. I need to place different groups or parties, or I have to learn from different groups or parties. And that makes me uncomfortable sometimes and doesn't always get a good ending. So I wrote this story from improv practice and also a group workshop. And by the end, that makes the ending of the story a little bit crazy. But this is also, I'd like to speak out that people in between may give you a big surprise if they get some opportunity.
Hello, my name is Rebs Chan. I'm a playwright and theater artist from Michigan, and I'm the writer of Afterlife. I first got into playwriting because I've always loved writing, I've always loved telling stories, and as I moved through high school and college, I got more and more interested in theater. So naturally, I started writing stories for the stage. The impetus from Afterlife came from this recurring thought I had about what if the afterlife isn't heaven or some kind of reincarnation? What if it's the international airport? And I always felt like the airport had this surreal, liminal feel to it, like some kind of purgatory. We're all just sitting there stressed, waiting for whatever the next place is. And so I combined that idea with the idea of, if I saw my grandmother again, what would I say to her? What would I ask her? And in combining those ideas together, I came up with Afterlife. One theme I think about when I think about Afterlife is the idea of a final resting place. I think for some people, the final resting place is clear as to where it should be. But for other people, their lives are spent in constant motion, and home is not one place, but several places or several people. And so I wonder, what does it mean to have a final resting place when your entire life hasn't been rest? It has been in perpetual motion. I don't know if the final resting place is something that everybody can imagine, or at least imagine clearly. So I hope that as people watch Afterlife, they grapple with their understanding of what does it mean to have a specific place and know that at that place you can rest.
Hello everyone, I'm Renzi Li. I come from China and currently reside in Seattle. I'm a freelance sound designer and filmmaker. Playwriting has always been my passion, and it closely tied to my field of expertise. Most of my previous works are film scripts, but this time, after 5 years, I dive back into the world of stage playwriting with a script for Buddha Hall. Buddha Hall is adapted from my short essay of the same name that I wrote during the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. At that time, China underwent huge changes due to the pandemic, and these transformations certainly made the place that used to give me a sense of belonging feel distant and fragmented. I went from someone who initially wanted to escape home to becoming a rootless wanderer, longing to return home, but seemingly had no place to call my own. I found myself lost and pondering where should I head next. So I penned this short essay Buddha Hall, and later extended its dream part into the present play. I hope the audience can journey alongside the protagonist, the wanderer, and experience the hometown transitions from this shore to the other as they endure the arduous drift between these two realms. As the wanderer bids a final farewell to the stone Buddha and set off for any destination, I wish for the audience delve into their own thoughts amidst the boundless confusion. Let's start on this adventure together, explore Buddha Hall, and let it spark contemplation and discovery within each of us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jillian Blevins, and I'm the author of the 18th Quinquennial Endlings Picnic. I'm a multidisciplinary theater artist and a full-time parent living in Massachusetts on the East Coast of the United States. I focused primarily on playwriting just a couple of years ago, moving away from acting and directing after facilitating an online New Works Festival and falling in love with creating and being a part of original work. I wrote the 18th Quinquennial Endlings Picnic. I first got the seed planted in my head after hearing the term endling on a public radio show and just finding the word itself very interesting and profoundly sad, in the same way how in English there's a word for orphan for a parent or for a child who's lost its parent, but not for a parent who's lost their child because it's too profoundly sad. The idea of an endling, of being the last of your kind, struck me as something profoundly sad and lonely, in a way that we could maybe all relate to. And I also am part of an online playwriting group, and we do bi-monthly challenges, and so I had this idea in the back of my head of writing an endlings play, and the challenge was to write a play about animals, and that's where this came from. The big takeaway I would love for people to walk away from Endlings Picnic with is more of a question, a discussion, not necessarily a lesson or a moral. And the question is about when we are oppressed or when we are in a minority group, is it always the only right choice to fight back? Or is there also value in seeking community? Is there value in seeking peace? So that's the question I'd love for people to walk away with. Thank you to Yun Theatre for creating the In Between Festival, and I look forward to seeing the rest of the work.